Imagine a place synonymous with brilliance, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge, Yale University. Now picture that sanctuary concealing a horrifying secret, a brutal crime hidden not in the shadows of a back alley, but within the very walls of a cutting-edge research facility. This is not a tale of strangers in the night, but of hidden obsessions, simmering resentments, and the tragic fate of a young woman named Annie Lee, September 8, 2009. The air in New Haven, Connecticut was crisp with the promise of autumn, but inside the Yale Animal Research Center, a different kind of chill was settling in. The Yark Building, a seemingly unremarkable red brick structure at 10 Amistad Street, housed a world of complex experiments and thousands of animals. Over 4,000 mice, along with other creatures, were confined within its walls. For Annie Lee, a bright and ambitious second-year pharmacology grad student, it was just another Tuesday. At around 10 a.m., Annie arrived at the lab, making her way to room G13 in the basement. Witnesses saw her don her yellow lab coat, grab her ever-present brown leather notebook, and begin meticulously documenting her observations. Every detail, every micro-change in her research mice was carefully recorded, but on this day, the meticulous routine was abruptly, irrevocably broken. Annie vanished. Panic set in when Annie failed to return home. Her roommate reported her missing, triggering a frantic search. But the urgency was met with an almost bureaucratic resistance. The groundbreaking experiments, the millions of dollars invested, meant the lab couldn't simply be shut down. Researchers continued their work, oblivious or indifferent to the dark mystery unfolding around them. The FBI agents entering the Yale Research Center were almost knocked back by the smell. It was overpowering and sterile, like a hospital. Underneath the clean scent was feces, vomit, fluids, and blood. If you stayed there longer, there was a stinging scent, animal urine, ammonia. Investigators were forced to navigate a maze of red tape, strict protocols, and the unsettling reality that the victim could be anywhere within the 120,000-square-foot facility. Every possible scenario was considered. Animal rights activists, had they targeted Annie, despite her research focusing on degenerative diseases? Runaway bride. Was the stress of her upcoming wedding too much? A secret affair. Had she run off with someone else just days before her wedding? But none of these theories quite fit. The building's sophisticated security system, with its 74 CCTV cameras, should have captured any unauthorized entry or exit. Annie had walked in, but there was no evidence she ever walked out. The Yale Research Center was a sealed box. As days bled into nights, the search grew more desperate. Then came the first chilling clue. Blood. Tiny specks of it, discovered on a cardboard box in Annie's lab, G13. A lab tech, acting strangely, was seen surreptitiously nudging the box away from a watchful police officer. Then, cleaning a floor drain that didn't look like it needed cleaning. The focus shifted to a nearby storage room, G22. Here, the investigators made a series of disturbing discoveries. A broken red bead, identified as part of a necklace Annie was wearing the day she disappeared. A laundry bag found outside with a blue pair of sweatpants with dark red stains on them. A single white sock and a single blue rubber glove, both stained with blood, hidden in the ceiling. It was Sunday, September 13th, the day Annie was to be married. Instead of a celebration, the atmosphere at the research center was heavy with dread. A team of canines was brought in, their tails straight, their focus intense. Max, a 90-pound German shepherd trained to detect human remains, led his handlers to a basement bathroom. There he sat, his gaze fixed on the wall. Behind a seemingly innocuous utility panel, nestled between water pipes and insulation, lay the answer to the agonizing mystery. Annie Lee's body was discovered, contorted and shoved into the narrow space. She was wearing one surgical glove, a match to the one found in the ceiling. Her necklace was broken, beads scattered around her neck. Her bra had been pushed above her chest, her underwear pulled down to her ankles. The autopsy would reveal the horrific truth. Annie had been essayed and murdered by traumatic asphyxia. The investigation now shifted into overdrive. Male reproductive fluids were found, offering a crucial DNA sample. But the initial results were baffling. The DNA matched a man named Chris Robinson, who had been murdered 2 years prior. How could a dead man's DNA be found on Annie's body? The answer lay in the building itself. Years earlier, Robinson had worked on the lab's construction, his sweat leaving a microscopic trace of himself behind. But that still left the question of who killed Annie. The remaining DNA pointed to one man, Raymond Clark, a lab tech engaged to Jennifer, a fellow Yale lab tech. Clark had lied to the police, claiming he saw Annie leave during a fire alarm. Surveillance footage revealed his strange behavior that day. Multiple changes of clothes, nervous pacing, and a frantic energy. The key card data was damning. Clark had swiped in and out of G13 and G22 a staggering 55 times on the day of Annie's disappearance. Annie's key card, on the other hand, stopped recording activity at 10:09 a.m. The forensic evidence sealed his fate. Clark's DNA was found on Annie's panty liner, on a lab wall, on scrub pants, on a lab coat stained with Annie's blood, and on a green pen discovered near her body. Clark had a fondness for green pens and wrote everything in green ink. On September 17th, Raymond Clark was arrested. To avoid a potential sentence of 120 years, he took a plea deal, receiving a 44-year prison sentence. But even in court, he refused to reveal his motive, leaving behind a chilling void of understanding. The prevailing theory, pieced together from the evidence and the circumstances, paints a disturbing picture. Clark, harboring a secret obsession with Annie, confronted her about her upcoming wedding. When she rejected his advances, he snapped, brutally attacking her. He moved her body, first to the storage room, then to the wall, desperately trying to cover his tracks. The fire alarm, triggered by a faulty autoclave, was a coincidence, adding to the chaos but not directly part of Clark's plan. Some criminologists suggest Clark suffered from an inferiority complex, a need for control, and a deep-seated resentment towards the researchers he served. Annie, a bright, successful Asian woman, may have become the focus of his twisted rage. The murder of Annie Lee exposed a dark underbelly within the walls of Yale's prestigious research center. But it also revealed the strength of a community united in grief and the enduring legacy of a young woman whose life was tragically cut short. The Sterling Memorial Library at Yale had hundreds of candles set up by students up and down the steps, under the oak trees and benches where Annie would spend time. Thousands of students showed up for the vigil. A fellowship was created in Annie's honor. The Annie Lee Memorial Fellowship Fund will be awarded each year by the Graduate School of Arts and Sciences at Yale University. It will provide assistance to doctoral candidates who have demonstrated commitment to bettering the world around them. Annie Lee was more than a victim. She was a brilliant scientist, a loving daughter, a devoted fiancée, and a friend to many. Though her life was stolen, her spirit continues to echo through the halls of Yale, a reminder of the enduring power of hope, resilience, and the pursuit of a better world. Subscribe for more contents like this.